Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Believe in best.
Good evening, I'm Andrew Knowles, and thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, approximately 2,500 people have been evacuated from those islands ravaged by Hurricane Dorian. According to NEMA officials, the majority of those evacuees are coming from Abaco. Here's a breakdown of the numbers being housed in shelters.
370 of those evacuees are placed at the Secondal GLI 6 Gymnasium shelter, and 300 additional people are being processed at Odyssey Aviation Center. They will be transported to the gym tonight. 60 people are being processed now for the Salvation Army shelter to go to the Mackey Street Salvation Army shelter. The Foxhill shelter has 300 persons and have actually reached their capacity. The Calvary Baptist shelter is at the capacity with 60 persons. The Bain and Grantstown Salvation Army is available and is working with NEMA also.
NEMA officials are making an appeal to the public to open their homes to provide shelter to the evacuees while exploring other housing options, which also includes mass sheltering options.
We are confident that we will increase our shelter capacity as we already have local NGO partners who have registered to offer their assistance. We are tapping this network to also supplement the number of cots we need for our shelters. In Abaco, we are mobilizing resources to set up temporary housing on the ground for persons impacted by the storm, as well as relief workers who are flying in. NEMA is in communication with its local and international partners to implement mass sheltering options. We are finalizing locations that are adequate for this purpose.
And despite the influx of evacuees, NEMA's director, Captain Stephen Russell, says the capital can accommodate those displaced residents.
Yes, so we're aware that quite a bit of persons are coming to Nassau. Some are going into Illuso as well, where they're accommodating some persons as well. Nassau can accommodate the people coming in from the islands. Through our shelter program, through family support, our hotel properties, we can find accommodations for persons coming from the islands who need assistance, yes.
Meanwhile, hundreds of evacuees continue to settle in at shelters across New Providence. Over at the New Providence Community Church, volunteers work around the clock to ensure storm survivors are fed and clothed.
And nobody could have prepared us for this. This was something just, I believe, like, something went wrong. Like, that wasn't a hurricane. I don't know what it was, but...
Eunice Gator, like countless others, still can't believe what she experienced.
It seems like fire, lightning, thunder, all at once as when, I don't know, I can't even explain it. But I've seen cars in it flying about. I've seen bodies on the side of the road. And it was horrible.
We met Eunice at the New Providence Community Church after she and her 4 children had just arrived here in the capital from Abaco. NPCC has been running a major volunteer-based operation for several days now.
We do have a lot of agencies that send a lot of people. We have hundreds of people that really flow through this place a day, and we register them. Once they sign up to particular teams, they can then be allocated a particular way of getting involved. However, we also have volunteer teams at Odyssey Airport. We have teams in Eleuthera, Abaco, Grand Bahama right now. Some of them help us with shipping, some of us help them with logistics, some with communications, some with media. This thing involves the entire country. That's how big this thing is.
Matthew Sweeting is the head pastor of NPCC. For nearly a week, they have been coordinating over WhatsApp and Facebook groups to gather and deliver mounds of water, food, diapers, and other much-needed supplies to thousands of Bahamians left without basic necessities.
We are really benefited from having agencies who come in here every day and train our volunteers. So if you want to volunteer here, we are a finely oiled machine. Once this stuff comes up to the parking lot outside on flatbed trucks, we have teams that offload it right away. The first thing that happens once it gets in the building is we inventory it, because we're trying to be accountable to the public of what we've been given fiscally and physically. Once it gets inventoried by massive teams here, then it comes into a big center like this, where it has to be unpacked, sorted, repacked, and then boxed, labeled, and then put back on the opposite end of this building onto flatbed trucks that then go to airports and shipping ports.
So far, Pastor Sweeting says they have sent out between 7 to 9 40-foot containers to the affected islands. And as those displaced residents now evacuate, Pastor Sweeting says the focus shifts to supplying local shelters and other islands as well.
You're looking at something that seems to be quite unprecedented for our country. We are tailoring our approach every week to what we are going to have to do as a country. As you know, a lot of evacuees are now coming here, so we'll be seeking to assist them as well. We are already shipping to other islands in the Bahamas, like Eleuthera, that are receiving evacuees. So we're trying to keep this very holistic in terms of our response.
Now, NPCC has been able to assist so many displaced families like Eunice and her children. And as for her family's next move, Eunice says it won't be back to Abaco.
Right now, I work for Baker's Bay, and they are helping us. You know, we staying at a hotel for a few days, and from there we go to the U.S. searching for something better, because I know I can't go through nothing like that again. So I have to seek something. If it's not for me, it's for my kids. I have to seek better.